tell me a little bit of history of this place.
Well, I'm Geraldine Beskin from the Atlantis Bookshop in London, and we are the world's oldest independent esoteric bookshop. There's another bookshop older than us, but they've always had backers, they've always had money men behind them. We've always paid our own rent. And the shop was started in 1922 by a man called Michael Houghton, and he knew everybody. W.B. Yeats, Tolkien, all the magicians of the time, Austin Spare, Aleister Crowley, and Gerald Gardner, who's the grandfather of modern day witchcraft, were all friends of his, and they obviously came to the shop. The room that I am in now is the Gardner Room, named after Gerald Gardner, because he had his clandestine coven in this room for a number of years, because witchcraft wasn't legal in England until 1951. Once it was legal, Gardner kept his coven here for more or less until he died in fits and starts. He and my father knew each other very well. Our founder knew him very well, obviously, and I am now the oldest, or the last, not just the oldest, but I'm the last person, we think, in the world who ever met Gerald Gardner, which is a weird claim to fame. So witchcraft is very strongly important to us as a family through our own practice. My father was a joiner, my mother was not, my grandmother wasn't, so for my grandmother, my mother, myself and my daughter, we don't join. We do our own work in our own ways. The shop is open to all. We specialise, as we have done from day one, in the Western mysteries, which involves Kabbalah, witchcraft, astrology, tarot cards are hugely important to us. Austin Spare, anybody who is working the Western way, because it's as valid as anywhere else in the world. Our folk tales are as shamanic as anybody else's, and so that's what we're strong on. We're not good on the New Age, we don't sell books on yoga, I don't care how many soulmates you've got, we do it our way here, and that's it.
Okay, amazing. What do you think about the invisible threads crossing all this magic?
It's the thing that crosses everything is a confidence that there is something more than us, that there's one layer, there are many layers of spiritual worlds, and essentially they are on our side. Every generation starts and doesn't know how to do things. So don't be scared at that point. There's absolutely no point, because they understand that you can't do it yet. It's like learning to drive or learning to cook. You have to practice it. But if they see you practicing it and trying to get it right, then they will bear with you. They will give you little signs that, yep, we've heard you, we've seen you, and you're on the right track for what you're doing. And that is common to all, whether you're studying astrology, studying palmistry, studying Kabbalah, whatever it is, you will find little bits of coincidences that absolutely show you that that was a bit freaky, and that just shows that you're on the right path.
Yeah. What do you think about this work? Everybody can do it, or you need something special to do it, to get in?
You don't have to be born psychic. You don't have to be anything like that. You have to be sincere, and you have to sort of know why you're doing it. Why would you do anything if you didn't know why you were doing it? Why do you have a meal? There's a reason, you're hungry, and those sorts of things. And so it also depends on how methodically your mind works. If it's a neat, tidy, orderly, scientific, mathematical sort of mind, then you will struggle, because you need process. Somebody with a visual mind just gets it. They can see a cloud and think, that's a funny shape, but it looks like my uncle. So they'll ring their uncle, are you okay? But if you have an orderly mind, then the runes or the I Ching, because they give you no visual clues, that's not what your mind needs, then they can be a very, very useful tool, because you can see that they are structured and they are clear and they will work for you. And have to put the hours in, like anything else, to get good at it.
Yeah. And do you think if someone at home have a vision, a perception of something, that must be hidden or that must be opened to everyone?
I've long learned that you can't change your family and your family can't change you, so don't bother to talk about it. Just quietly get on with it. And they will be slightly surprised and slightly jealous sometimes that, hey, they're having a good time and they're succeeding. They haven't got much money necessarily, but their life is rich, their life is good. It's because you're living your own life. And as I say, they can't change you, you can't change them. Don't even try.
Okay.
It's not worth the rows. And don't be too quite open about it. These are the occult sciences. These are the secret sciences. And I don't mean, be really secretive and daft about it. People come to my house, they have no idea what I've got hidden in plain sight, as we say, right? I have very religious neighbours and they're very lovely people and we all get on, but they don't know what I do. And yet they say, oh, they're nice candlesticks, or, oh, I love the way you have your fruit bowl there, or you've always got flowers. Yes, I have.
Then, in your experience, you work with the candles, you work with the flowers, you do your own magic.
Yes.
With all around you.
Yes, because it's easy to work with. What keeps us moving is the moon and the awareness of the moon. So if I want to get rid of something, I do it when the moon is waning. If I need something, I do it when the moon is gathering strength, and I use that energy for myself. I also decide whether I've got an emotional response to this, so really it doesn't matter really when I do it, because I'm not interested in the moon for this, I'll do something else. And, find a spell and think, I like it, but I don't like it, then make it your own. Use it as a framework and make it your own. Someone like me, I don't do more than 2 spells a year. In the shop, if someone needs some help, I did a little piece of white magic with someone the other day. It was very much, just now here. And 3 weeks later, he came back and said it had absolutely worked, and it had worked out better than he could possibly have imagined. Now that's really lovely.
Yeah. I think...
And there was no structure in real terms. It was the intention. It was the right little thing as a gift to give him, to say, go do this with this. And he thought, the woman's part crazy, but I really do want this thing, so I'll do it. And he did it with all his heart. And it worked out better than he thought.
Yeah. What you can say to the people when the people is afraid to something hidden, something they don't know. What you can say about your life is something to hide, or is something like everybody can?
Well, I don't see why you have to talk about it all the time.
Okay.
I've lived where I've lived for 20 odd years. My neighbours still don't know what I do. They know I sell books. They have no interest beyond that. And it means my life is my life. My life isn't my life online, And also, I think that if you're doing something esoteric, you should do it and not tell people you're doing it. I think you should wait, because you need to put a time limit on whatever you do. There's the old story of the man who wanted to become a multi-millionaire. He did a spell, he got run over, he became a quadriplegic, and his insurance paid out $10 million. He got what his wish was. You have to be sensible, realistic, put timing on it. But so why would you tell someone when it's that important? Then keep it to yourself. And then if you win millions of dollars, share it with your friends, Yeah,
it's amazing. Do you receive someone with a pain, suffering for something, and you can notice somebody do something bad for him,
Healing is a tricky subject. And we all know some illnesses are psychosomatic, some illnesses are really awful, some illnesses there isn't a medicine for yet. How you live with that illness is the part of the healing process. And if we all have bad days with it, like everybody else, I nearly died of COVID, but you have to thank the powers that be that you're still here. And day by day, you have to build back. And you look back 2 weeks, you look back 4 weeks, and you think, oh, I couldn't do that 4 weeks ago. I couldn't walk to the corner 4 weeks ago. You have to count your blessings. And if you're having a bad time, yes, you're having a bad time because it happens. But the world is circular. The world is constantly in motion. The wheel of fortune, the wheel of the year, they move, they move, they move. And so the bad times become the good times. And then they fade a bit and becomes bad times again. And then they become good times again. If you want to stay having bad times, good luck to you. You're welcome. You don't have to stay having bad times.
Amazing. Then you told me this come from your family.
Yeah.
Do you think this remains in your family forever?
Who knows? Who knows?
Because you notice your daughter, your
Oh
granddaughter.
yeah,
you can feel that connection goes.
But also, my father came from being with the traditional witches. My mother had this Irish side of things, where my grandmother was a good Catholic, but she could heal people. She told fortunes with playing cards and things like that. Now she would be called a witch. And then my mother was more witchy than that. But because my mother and father both had the blood, we are of the blood, and not many people are. Lots of people now, their grandmother was a witch. Good on them. That's true, because from the 70s onwards, people started being interested in magic. And so that's true. But my grandmother was, and I'm a grandmother now. So there's 5 generations in our family. Because my granddaughter certainly has all the right instincts about things. Yeah.
Even you say your grandma is Catholic.
Yeah.
What do you think? The religion can manage this, or is something you have it? The religion is not connected. Then...
She kept it separate.
Exactly.
She didn't shout about it. She was a very discreet woman, but everybody knew that you could go to her if she would say, come round and have a cup of tea. And then she'd get the cards out and it would go on from there. Just gentle, discreet. You don't have to shout about what you do.
But it's good to know to the people this is something special gift you have.
We have it, but there are people who are better at the cards than me, better than at magic than me, better at most things than me, who don't have the bloodline. It is their life, and they're very, very, very good at it. Lots of people are psychic, lots of people aren't. But you can still have a good magical life.
Amazing. What you can say to the people from the world about the magical things? Is something good for good life? Is something good for relationships? Something good for... What is your suggestion?
I think that flowers are good because our subconscious can't use words. So it needs signals, and flowers feed our souls, and they make the atmosphere very pleasant. They're a good thing, they're a cheap thing. I rescue flowers from supermarkets because often they don't put them in water, and that hurts me. So I buy them because they're cheap, and then they look as if they're going to die, and you give them a drink and they just sing for you. They're fantastic. So flowers are a good thing because you don't need to spend money on this stuff. Everybody's got a knife, everybody's got a glass. Well, use those, but only use them for that purpose. Keep them separate to whatever else you have. A wine glass and a kitchen knife, you're halfway there. You need something to point the energy upwards and out. My mother used to say, it's all very well having an altar and wonderful incense and everything like that. If there's something in the street that's about to happen that you don't want to happen, you just need to point it and send it up there. Get the energy out of you into changing the situation. So it depends how you like to work. But it's those things become very precious to you. At the moment, we've been in a collaborative partnership with the Saatchi Gallery, very impressive gallery, for their summer show. And their theme is the sun and the moon. So I realised that a lot of people have never seen a witch's altar. So I put in a lunar altar to that exhibition. And there are things there that are very dear to me because I've used them for years and years and years. There are other things that fitted the moment, you know. And the other thing is that you find that everything is made up of earth, air, fire, water and spirit. I think we can agree that. You know, just think about a brick. It came from the earth.
Yeah.
It was shaped with water. It was forged in the fire, and the air, took it from there. So everything has that. And I've forgotten what I was going to say now. But that's all you need to know. And everybody has an element that they like, or they've got one that they really don't like. But what does that element mean to you? Everybody thinks of the seaside for water. What about the miracle of having a tap with water in it? Those things. And just use what we have constructively. It's a very positive life, a magical life. It is about looking for the good, not for the bad. The bad is all around us. I fully accept that. I'm absolutely not interested in it. It can do its thing. Thanks very much. Go and do it. Don't come into my life because I'm not interested in you. You bore me.
That is really nice to know how you can say to bad energies, get away from my life.
Yeah.
Because many people don't know how to protect himself.
The bad energies rely on us being polite. They're like the drunk on the night bus. They think they're fascinating and they're not. They're smelly, they're drunk, they're repetitive, and you just can't wait to get away from them. Now, so the low-level entities are the same thing, and they will latch onto you if you let them, but all you have to do is swear at them. I swear at them. I'm not prepared to put up with them. And I tell them to go away very firmly and just repeat it, and they will then see there's no point in bothering her because she won't let us through. But you've got to be simple, you've got to be clear, and you've got to be rude with them. And that works. If you want them around you as hobbies, oh, I've got this terrible thing, oh, you're welcome. I'm not interested.
Many people suffering about that low energies. Many people say, oh, I attract bad people, I attract bad, bad relationship in his life.
Yeah.
They attract. What do you suggest for that people?
Well,
what
stop being so passive. Stop making the same mistake with your relationships, and stop being so boring. You're no good as a friend. You must be the person at work that everybody wants to avoid because you're always sitting in the corner being miserable. Well, just change. It doesn't cost you any money to change. You've just got to dare to do it.
Amazing. Is something you want to tell us about your magical space?
This is a very magical space, this room, because we have workshops here, we have talks, we have exhibitions and things like that. It's not a big room, but somehow it changes its size and shape to fit whatever we want in here, so far anyway. And also it changes its atmosphere to receive it. And because the Gardner's Coven was here, it's sacred space to us as a family. And that's why we won't put the shop into here. We have creativity happening here. And that works very much. But we have creativity of all sorts. We occasionally have music, we have good workshops, we have theoretical stuff, we occasionally have, we have Rosicrucians, we have all sorts of things here. But the room trusts us and we trust it. I once let a group, a tiny group, they were very, very, very nice people, have the room for a while, and they just ruined the atmosphere. They were so worried about not leaving it right when they left, that it was as if they'd scrubbed it, as if they'd really, made it too clean. It wasn't right. And so I just had to say to them, I'm sorry, your energy isn't right for here. And they absolutely understood that. They appreciated that. Because this is a precious place, and we can't let it you know, they weren't abusing it. God bless them, they were great, but they were just wrong for here.
Yeah. Then this building is full of energy.
Yes.
And then you are the guardian.
Yeah.
How you feel about to be the guardian?
My daughter and I
important. It's important shop.
My daughter and I share the responsibility. We've been working here together for 24 years now, and we are equal partners in this, and we take equal responsibility too. And we have different things that we're good at, which is it makes us a good team. Two the same wouldn't work, and we love it, or we wouldn't be doing it. And for both of us, temperamentally, it has to be love, not like. You know, we have to love it, or we just would close the door and never come back.
Yeah.
But we do genuinely love it. We love the variety of it. We like meeting good people like you who just come in and suddenly my whole day has changed. But positively, I like it. I think what you're doing is important and useful and good. So I'm very happy to be involved in that. And this building was built in 1886, which is when the Golden Dawn Magical Society was started. And I like to think that those people came in here then because it was an art gallery before we moved in. And, you know, just so they saw it, and it's a good feeling that it's always had an awareness of magical stuff. And Tolkien, he was published from this street. And he knew our founder and things like that because they were young poets. And it's very lovely. We're very, very fortunate, and we know it.